Hello and welcome everybody. It is time to start. Well, I just want to say thank you for everyone that's taken a little bit of time out of your day today to join us. Today's webinar is going to be all about the personnel certification. Really, preparation is key. We're going to walk you kind of through the start to finish on really how you prepare, how you study, how you get the most out of getting ready really for either if you're taking the CFSP exam, the CFSE exam, or really any exam within our program. Today's webinar is really the key is to help you and give you the best chance for success. My name, of course, I am Ted Stewart. I'm the Program Development Compliance Manager for exida. Been with the company for a little over 11 years and have always been a part of the CFSE program. Today also with us, we have Melissa Chrisman. She's actually close to one of the original people for this program in a sense. She's been with us for over 17 years, and she really is the glue that kind of holds everything together. We also have with us Sarah Heverly. She's come up extremely fast within our program here. She started with exida back in 2019 and really has just ran with this opportunity and has really helped us progress the CFSE program. She now helps and runs all of the advisory board meetings for CFSE and has done an extremely great job for us. So you're going to hear from both of them today. And right before we get started, though, of course, there's always a couple quick introduction slides. I get the privilege of talking about those, and then Melissa and Sarah will both jump straight into today's presentation. So thanks again. As most of you know, I do see some newcomers in here, so it's always nice to kind of go through some of these slides. But, you know, we are exida, a global company, offices around the world, and it's kind of fun to watch how this company is progressing. But one of the most recent ones is exida Ireland. We have become, they will be our notified body for the EU. As you know, some things have changed there. So it's kind of fun. As the world changes, so do we. And honestly, the best thing that we're trying to do is really make sure that our customers and the people that we work with, we want to make sure that they continually to benefit and get all the advantage by using our services, and we never want that to be limited. So, you know, we are a company-focused company. We are the only company in the world that encompasses really that complete life cycle of functional safety, alarm management, and of course cybersecurity, which was one of the fastest growing industries right now. So that is kind of a fun, unique situation to be in, and it really does give our customers a tremendous advantage when they work with us. We are an open book. I like to say that because there's nothing that we do that people don't know how we do it. We share all of our secrets, so to speak, and our competitors think we're crazy, but we don't, because there's always that next level of safety, that next level of security that we're really trying to work on, and we'd rather teach you along the way. And that's kind of like today, right? We're talking about preparation on one of the hardest exams in the world, one of the biggest accolades in personal certification when it comes to functional safety and cybersecurity in respect to the industry standards. And look, we want to share and give all the information we can so that you get the best advantage, because in reality, we all know life is not a closed book, it's an open book. And so that's what it's all about. exida, yes, we are we kind of started off as we started off as a consulting company and turned into a certification company. You can see here, we do various certifications, whether it's people, whether it's products, whether it's systems, and of course, even just the process. Yes, we are a global leader in 20 short years. That's what it took us to become that top company in the industry. Cybersecurity, of course, we all got the same head start with all of our competitors, and you know, the only reason we're doing so well is because this is all we do. Many of our competitors, they dabble in a lot of other industries, and they do other things besides just this piece, right? Just functional safety or cybersecurity. But because we just stay here and we stay within our own pool, I mean, that's all we do, and I think that's why we've done so well. One of the coolest things about the company that I kind of like is that, you know, there are tools available. Everyone knows about Excellentia. Everyone knows that this is what most end users use as their global tool when they're doing all their own calculations and working within the plants and setting up, whether it's greenfield or brownfield or doing any kind of solar verification in general. And this tool it's phenomenal. It's going to help you out throughout the entire life cycle, no matter where you are within your project. And what's kind of neat too is just recently, I'd say within the last couple years, you may not even know about this, but now all of our OEM customers, we always do the FAMIDAs for people. We always do their architecture reviews, and now we're letting our customers do it all for them. So basically our internal tool is now an external tool, just like Excellentia. Now and anyone on here that's an OEM, you now have access to the tools that we use to do the jobs for you. Why? Because once again, we want to work on that next level. So anyways, that's enough about exida. I hope there's something in there that you learned, because it's always fun. And now it does give me great privilege and pleasure to introduce Miss Melissa Chrisman. She's going to start kicking off this webinar for you. Melissa?
Hello. Today we're going to go through and take you through the application process, where you can find all your study resources and learn about the online exam process. Our goal today is try to make this easier for you, so there's no worries or surprises on your exam day. Being prepared and knowing what to expect is key in order to help you pass this exam.
Hey, Missy, are you there?
Sounds like we lost some audio there.
I'm sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Loud and clear.
Okay. Submitting your application is the first step to getting you started on your road to the CFSE. The application process is free. You do not have to pay to submit and for us to review your application. Once you submit your application, we will review it and send you your welcome letter. That way, then you can decide when it's time for you to make your payment. We'll also set you up with your CFSE tracker, and from there, you'll be able to track your progress and know what you need to submit. On your application, you're going to have to choose your exam type. If you want to take the CFSE, CFSP, CACE, CACS, then you're also going to need to pick your specialty. Those are key in order for us to know what exam we need to set you up for. We'll also be asking for your personal data, your education, and your professional experiences are some of the categories you'll have to fill out for us. Your next step, you need to think about what you want to talk about for your case study, if you're taking a CFSE or a CACE. The case study is a description of the project where you'll demonstrate your skills, knowledge, and responsibilities for a significant element of the safety life cycle in accordance and with your relevant areas of the 61508, 61511, 62061, or 62443. The case study is only required for those taking the CFSE or CACE, and CFSP and CACS, you don't have to worry about the case study. Your next are your referee statements. Depending on your exam, you're either going to need 2 for the CFSP or CACS exam, or 4 for the CACE and CFSE exam. The referee forms can be found within the link on your screen, and they are submitted by your peers and colleagues. They act as a confirmation that others in the industry feel that you are a great candidate for this exam. You'll need to send your referee forms to referees so they can fill out the form and email it back to us. We're also looking for any registration or certificates that you have received. These will be submitted to us so we can count them in with your additional work experiences if you need the extra work experiences to be counted. And the last step we would need is your payment to take the exam. This is to be submitted to us when you're ready to take the exam. The CFSE CAC exam is $800 and the CFSP CACS is $700. Once this is submitted, we will be able to send your exam link. With the exam link, then you will be able to schedule in for your exam date and time that you are ready to take the exam. You also have the opportunity, once you schedule it, if you need to travel for work or something happens that you need to reschedule, that you just go into your Proctor account and you can also reschedule that as well. But if you need to retake the exam for some reason, that is not a problem. You do not have to go through the entire application process again. You can just send us an email at admin@exida.cfse.com to ask for more details, or just pay the retake fee, and then we would send you the new exam link so you can sign up and take the exam again. And the retake fees are for CFSE and CAC is $300, and for CFSP, CACS is $250. Another one of our helpful tools that we have is for the CAC tracker. You'll be able to create an account, sign in, and check to see what application documents is still needed. This is very useful to track for your referees, because sometimes you do not know what referees have sent in your references. Once you submit your application, we'll send you the link so you can set up your tracker. And this will be helpful so you know what other documentation we are still waiting for.
Alrighty, thank you, Missy. So that application is really the first step in this whole process. One thing that I really like to harp on is submitting your application is completely free. And we really encourage people to get their application in first so we can get them set up within the tracker and really get the ball rolling. But now we're going to get into the fun stuff. So now we're going to get into the meat and bones here. What do we give you to make this process, or what do we provide to you that makes this process as seamless as possible? We're going to talk about the different resources we offer. We have paid resources and free resources, but one of the biggest things is really taking advantage of these. We highly encourage candidates to spend at least 40 to 50 hours in self-study time. So having some quality resources to, when you go to sit down and do that, is really going to be beneficial. So our goal today is to prepare you so that when you sit down, you're not saying, where do I start? You know, I'm feeling really overwhelmed. This is a lot of information. No, no, no. We don't want that. We want you to sit down and say, okay, I've got this. You know, I've been provided with the resources and the books and the different things that then when I sit down for my exam, I'm like, okay, you know. So we're very excited. We're going to hop into this. But one thing I wanted to mention is all of these resources are at your own will. We do not require you to do trainings. We do not require you to pay for anything. Everything is at your own pace, which is really great. So we're going to hop into that, and let's get started on some of the paid resources we have. One of the biggest things that we offer is our training through exida Academy. This is a great resource, and it's really nice because it caters to many different people. If you're someone who enjoys being in a classroom setting and talking and collaborating with other people, then maybe our live instructor-led courses is something you'd be interested in. Or maybe you're someone who's saying, you know, I've got the information, but I just want to refresh it and just make sure I'm on the right track with things. And I'm not really interested in talking with people as much. I just want to make sure I'm on the right path. So maybe a self-paced training would be good for you. I know Kristen Shada is our training coordinator. She is great. She's a great help with all of that. And currently we have a lot of different trainings coming up, which we are going to touch on, and I'll kind of dive into that a little bit. Another paid resource that we have is our safety book packages. This is something that we have seen to be very beneficial for people. It's a really great, it's a big seller for people because these safety book packages basically set you up for everything you're going to need. Like I said, they are not required, but it is another resource that we'll touch on. And then lastly, one of our new paid resources that we have for people is our CFSE process practice exam. This is really exciting, and I'm excited to tell you guys about it. But this was designed by the CFSE team, along with expertise provided by our advisory board. So we have experts from all over the world who have collaborated with us to get this out. And this will give candidates the real feel of what the exam is going to be like. So let's hop into our training. Our training is through exida Academy, and like I said before, this is in no way required, but it is a really great resource. We have so many different courses catering to the different needs of people. I know if you look on the screen, we have some coming up in July for managers, our FSC 107. And then, you know, all throughout the month leading to the end of the year, we have our FSC 211. This is just some of the trainings that we have. And if you're interested in looking into something more, maybe you're saying, well, I just want to do one of these, see how it goes, reach out to our training coordinator, Kristen, reach out to us, ask us these questions, because we want to find what works best for you and your schedule and what makes you most comfortable. But this is truly one of our biggest ways that people can prepare themselves for the exam. And some of these courses will ultimately truly set you up for it. So that's one of those ways. Another thing that I wanted to touch on was our books. This again is not required, but our safety book package is a great help. It includes our study guide, so our CFSE, CFSP study guide, as well as the practical skill target selection. This pertains to the IACS 61511 safety life cycle. And then our safety instrumented system design book. This is a great book. I know I've even perused through it, and I don't have as much technical knowledge as everyone in the field, but this has been very beneficial to me, whether it's talking about SIL selection or SIL verification. It's great to have that resource right next to you. One big thing about the books is our exam is an open book exam. So if you have quality resources next to you, it's going to make the process so much easier. No one likes looking for an answer and having to search for 15 minutes. No one likes that. So having those resources with the answers and diagrams and different equations that you need is a really great resource. And it's also nice when you're sitting down studying, you want to feel like you're getting something from it, you know? And these are some of our best sellers. We also offer our Cyberbook package. This is for those looking to go for their CACE or their CACS. Same situation, and includes our study guide, as well as one of our books that goes through the pragmatic approach to cybersecurity. These books are, like I said, very beneficial because it's an open book exam, but in no way are they required. Let's say, oh, I'd like to purchase a safety book package, but I don't want all the books. If you just want a study guide, that can be done too. And we will go through, we can answer some of your questions on the different costs and things like that as we get through the webinar. And then the last thing for a paid resource that is really exciting that I wanted to touch on is our CFSE process practice exam. Like I mentioned before, this was put together by our team along with a CFSE advisory board. And this is truly meant to give candidates the look and feel of the exam. We want you to sit down on your exam day and say, okay, I'm not super overwhelmed. This looks right. This looks a little familiar. Because this is a long exam. This is a 240-minute exam, and you're going to be sitting, and you're not really permitted to get up unless it's an emergency. So we want to make sure that people understand our online testing platform and are prepared for the day of. Below, you'll see a chart where we contrast the differences between our practice exam and our CFSE exam. And I think this is a really great visual just to show you what you're truly getting from it. So as you can see, our practice exam, we give you, when you purchase that, it's $50 US, just to throw that in there. When you purchase it, it gives you 3 attempts to get 3 240-minute attempts compared to just taking your exam one time. And then after each of those attempts, something that's really great that I'm really excited about is we give you answers and explanations for each question. So you're not just looking and saying, oh, I got this wrong, but why? No, it's going to show you why you got it wrong and where you can find the answer as a reference for that. And the difference is, obviously, for the CFSE exam, we do not provide any of those correct answers or any information related to that, just to keep the security and confidentiality. Our CFSE exams are proctored through a live proctor. So for that duration of the 240 minutes, there will be someone on the other side of your screen watching. They can see your browsing history. They can see pretty much, as you're in the exam, they can see everything you're doing. So it's really, it can be nerve-wracking sometimes. But that is one way we'll touch down later in the presentation about how you can prepare for that. But one thing that's nice about the practice exam is there's no external pressure. It's just you, it's just your computer and your resources, your study resources, and you're going for it. So there's no proctor. So that's really nice because you can take things at your own pace. It is still timed, but it's not like you have that pressure of someone watching you. This CFSE practice exam is auto and self-assessed. So after your exam, you're going to get your score, and then it's going to give you all the correct answers, excuse me. So from there, you're able to kind of gauge where you're at and assess your strengths and weaknesses, which is really great. For the CFSE exam, these are graded by two live graders, so 2 of our experts within the industry, one of engineers, expert engineers go through and they do that. That usually takes about 6 to 8 weeks, so that is a little bit longer. But that's the difference. And then Last thing that we wanted to point out is the scheduling. So for our CFSE exam, you are required to schedule 72 hours in advance. This can be any day, anytime you'd like, but we need a heads up. One thing for the practice exam is this can be taken anytime. You don't need to give any heads up. As long as you have been sent your link and you have the proper login information, you are ready to go. And that is one thing that makes it a little bit easier because you don't have to worry about coordinating with other people or making sure that, oh no, I've missed my time slot. So that's really great. These are just a few of the paid resources that we offer. Like I had harped on before, these are in no means required, but we have found them to be a great success for people, and we've had great feedback from them on their success stories of how these have helped them. And now we're going to kind of hop into some of the free resources we have, because in all honesty, it's tough today. It's tough. It's not easy paying for things, and we understand that, and we want to make sure that you have everything you need, that when you sit down, you're saying, okay, I'm ready to go. So Missy's going to hop on and go through some of our free resources that exida and the CFSE team have to offer.
Some of our free resources that we have are our blogs. Our blogs are typically done about once a month, and it's called exida Explains It All. It gives an expert and sometimes a candid insight into the world of functional safety, alarm management, and industrial cybersecurity. There's a lot of information out there that you can touch on and go in and see what they're talking about and find out a little more information, and even find some more study material in there as well. Our webinars are typically done at least every week. Some of our topics that we have for our blogs and our webinars are alarm management, certification, functional safety, industrial cybersecurity, software, and news. Our topics are on a variety of hot industrial topics involving many topics from functional safety, alarm management, and IACS cybersecurity. All of our videos that we have are all of our content is from the webinars and seminars. These can be found on our YouTube channel, which if you search for exida, you'll be able to find all of our webinars and videos that we have out there. So we also have social media groups. We have a LinkedIn study group for CFSE, and it is at CFSE/CFSE study group. It's a place where you can ask questions and get some help in studying. You might even connect with someone that can be one of your study buddies to help you. You guys can get together and study. Sometimes the group study is a little more fun and doesn't seem so daunting when you're studying together with a buddy. We also have some white papers that we have for information to help you in the cybersecurity, functional safety, and many more topics that you can go there and look for. We also have case studies that you can look over for companies that exida has helped identify places where they can improve their safety on. We also have a glossary section, which is a great resource that you can go to help with words and terminology, so you can get their meaning and understand what some of the stuff that they're talking about. You can find all these resources if you go to the exida.com. If you click on the resource tab at the top, and then on the right side of the web page, you will see the topics that you can choose from, and you can scroll down and pick out some of the blogs to look over or some of the webinars to look over. And these can definitely help your study, and they're free just to look over and save you some money if you don't have that budget to go for the courses or anything else like that.
And one thing I just wanted to add was, within these free resources, there are so many different topics covered. It ranges from alarms management to certification to functional safety to industrial cybersecurity to software and the daily industrial news. The news within the industry, excuse me. So there really is something for everyone. And we really encourage people to just hop on the exida website and just peruse and look for what you need, because there are so many resources that you can find. There is no need to pay sometimes if you can find these, if you're not in the boat to do that. And that's why we want to make sure that you have these and they're readily accessible. I just wanted to add that in there. All right, so now we're going to hop into the fun part. Now you're getting ready to sit down for your exam. but there's still a few more things you got to get ready for and prepare for, because preparation is key. We have to remember that. Always be prepared. So before you sit down for your exam, we're going to go through our pre-exam checklist. So just a few things that you need to make sure are squared away with on your end, so that when you sit down and log in with your proctor, there's no issues or no complications. And then actually sitting for your exam. Yes, you've made it to the point where you're sitting down, but there's a few more things that you want to keep in mind. So we're going to cover those real fast. Alrighty, so this is our exida online platform. This is the platform you would be using to take your CFSE exam. This is the dashboard screen as a student. So this is the student account. So what you do is, Missy mentioned earlier that once you have paid for your exam, we send you your exam link. From there, you're able to go into our online exam testing platform and create an account, and then you'll see your different test taking, what you have to take a test for, excuse me. So from there, it's very important that you go and you set up this account beforehand prior to your exam date, because the day of, you don't want to have those complications. One thing that is really nice about our online exam platform is that it provides, there's like a calculator, there's different bookmarking features, there's different scaling features that allow you to use different tools throughout the exam. Our exams do not ask you to draw anything or make any diagrams of that sort, but as for calculators and things of that sort, they do provide it. And then sitting the exam. This is where it all comes down to. This is, you're finally there, you're ready to go, but there's a few more things. So our exams are open book, and I wanted to retouch on just how important it is to have quality resources. I know we talked about our safety book packages. That is one of the quality resources you can have open with you next to your computer. One thing that I did say earlier is your proctor will check all of your resources. They are going to be watching you the whole time. So it's important that you have everything prepared beforehand, because they're going to ask you to show them. So we do allow you to use like PDF electronic versions of standards. So you want to have all of those ready, whether it be hard copy book standards or other external resources. You want to have it all with you. We do not allow any sort of internet search engine, searching throughout the exam, and that is one thing you need to remember. So you want to have everything PDF'd and saved beforehand. Another thing is the length of the exam, and I know earlier we had said that training is one way that you can prepare yourself for this, but it's a long exam, and it's important to take the time beforehand to prepare yourself for sitting for that amount of time, because we don't allow you to get up unless it's an emergency. And trainings in that 40 to 50 hours of recommended self-study time will truly prepare you for this. The practice exam is also another thing that will give you an idea of what it's going to be like, but just that preparation of sitting down, remembering that there is a proctor that's going to be watching you, and just keeping yourself focused and on the right track. So that's one way you can prepare. And then the live proctoring. So the live proctoring will be there the whole time. So just preparing yourself beforehand. I know that, let's say you're not really comfortable with the live proctoring aspect, but it's something that has to be done. Maybe taking one of those live trainings with an instructor will get you more comfortable with what it's like to be online with someone during this exam. And then lastly, just personal preparation. So using the facilities beforehand and making sure that you don't have any smart devices or anything of that nature out during the exam is very important, because you are being watched, you're being monitored. There are facial recognitions and authentication that you go through beforehand. So they're very good on picking up on any sort of foul play in that sense. Let's see, but above all, the biggest thing that I would want to harp on is just truly the study time. Taking the time to sit down and make sure that you've perused all of the different standards, all the different topics, and just sitting down so that you're comfortable for that day. Ted, is there anything else you'd like to add to that one?
No, you know what? I think that was fantastic. You guys both did such a fantastic job, so thank you for that. I see we have some great questions that are flying in here. So now we get to have some fun interacting with everybody here. But I just want to say, thank you for everybody listening on this webinar. I hope you found it useful. Of course, yeah, we do have other places you can find us. So if you want to know when the next blog's coming out, when you want to know when that next webinar is coming out, and all these different other free resources that are always available. Join one of these groups, find out, and then you're always going to get notified when the latest and the next information's coming. So it's fun. We try and help out as much as possible. But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's get some of these questions answered. And I think some of these questions, Missy and Sarah, if you don't mind helping me out, that would be great. But the first question, Missy, I'm going to bring this one to you. The question is, if I'm a functional safety engineer by TV, can I apply for the exam or not?
Absolutely, you can apply for the exam.
Excellent.
Same process as any other person that would be applying. You fill out the application, you can send that in to us, we'll review it, send you your welcome letter, and whenever you're ready to make the payment, you can make that payment.
I'd say we highly encourage you, even if you are an FSN from TÜV, we would highly encourage you to come over and try the program, give it a go. Definitely. This program is for everyone.
Excellent. Another comment we have here, and something that we will share with you is, some people didn't understand the acronyms, or they heard some dollar figures and maybe they're not by memory. So what we can do is we'll put together a Q&A worksheet, and at the conclusion of our second webinar, we have another one today as well. We'll put together all those questions and put together all the figures and send that out to everybody that's on this webinar. So you will, if there's any acronyms you didn't understand, our apologies, but we will get those to you afterwards once we finish the second one. Sarah or Missy, I'm not sure who would have this handy, but we did have a question here. What is that cost of that safety book package?
Sure. The safety book package is currently $495 US. It's on sale. It's 10% off right now. And that can be found through the exida.com products site. The product tab within exida.com is where that can be found.
Okay. And I think, Sarah, once again, I know you had a big help on the practice exam. There's a question here. Please indicate what is the fee if they want to do like 3 practice exams?
So with the practice exam, it is $50 US, and that will give you 3 attempts. So you're already covered with that one-time payment. And then you would automatically be given 3. If you'd like to purchase 3 separate, you could, but then that would just give you 9 attempts. So you it would make more sense if it's one person, just one purchase, and it's $50 US.
Thank you. Missy, what is the length of not only the CFSP exam, but the other exams as well?
The length of the CFSP exam is 2 hours, and the length of the CFSE is 6 hours. The cyber exams are 4 hours, both for CACE and CACS.
Is the CFSP exam 2 hours or 4 hours?
4 hours is the CFSP.
Okay, thank you.
The CFSE is broken up into, you'd have to sign up for 2 separate exams for the CFSE. We don't want you to have to sit through the entire CFSE exam for that length of time. So we do have the CFSE broken up in 2 separate exams, which you have to take in the same day.
Yeah, just to kind of piggyback off of that, from that one slide we talked about earlier, you'll see that it's broken up between multiple choice and short answer. There's no distinct order that you need to take them in, but they do need to be taken at the same time within 24 hours of each other, so within the same day. But we do not control which one you take first. But we do like to split it up into 2 groups just to make it a little bit easier for you and the proctor.
Okay, the next question that we have here is in regards to the resources that are going to be used during the exam. We did make a comment that you need to have PDFs for the electronic, and you're not allowed to browse the internet at all. Those PDFs that individuals make, Sarah or Missy, do they need to get pre-approved ahead of time? How do they know that the PDF that they're using is allowed to be used on the exam?
If you are questioning what you're going to be using, you can always send it to us and we can pre-approve that for you. But if you're using like the course manual, of course you can use that. If you're using your standards that you have in PDF form, of course you can use that. That is not a problem. Some of your notes that you have, if you're questioning if you're allowed to have those, you can email them to us and absolutely we will look them over and pre-approve them for you and let you know that you can use them on the exam.
Yeah, because that is one important thing to note, though, is if you don't get it pre-approved, the proctor can make judgment if they want to allow you to continue. If they see something of risk, they will document that, and in some cases, in one case, your exam would be terminated if you don't have something pre-approved. So it is important to make sure that if you're creating your own resources, that they do get looked at prior to starting the exam. That way, you remove any kind of instance of having any kind of disqualification. So that is a good comment, so thank you. Do you have any videos recording to show how the live proctor is working? No, we do not. However, if you are interested in how the whole proctoring works, you can go to the platform that we use. They are called ProctorU. That's PROCTORU as an umbrella, just the letter U.com, and there's all that information on how their program works, and you could probably see some videos there, but we do not personally have any.
We also, I would like to add, there is a webinar we did a few months ago that does walk you through this process. So if you have any questions about what is ProctorU, what is this testing platform, you can look up. It's called Certification Start to Finish. And we can always somehow tag that or send that out to people. But that's another webinar that we've done previously that does walk you through the ProctorU authentication process and what you should expect of that day.
Great. Next question here. For the CFSE exam, is the case study based on work that candidates have already done, or is it something specific for the CFSE exam?
This would be based off of a project that you've already done. So something of experience that you've done that someone can vouch for, and you just pretty much detail it. You detail your project.
Next question. Are my calculator and 61511 standards allowed during the exam? And can I use the standard? I think we've already answered the standard part as soft copy or have to print it out. We know that that can be electronic as long as that standard has your name on it and is licensed to you. All right, so a 61511 standard that does not have your name on it, you cannot use that standard electronically because you did not pay for that standard. So keep that in mind. If it's a company standard and it's a multi-user license standard, then yes, you're allowed to use that standard. Ladies, if you want to talk about the calculator, please do so.
You can use any calculator that you would wish on the exam. We do not have any requirements for the calculator anymore. We got rid of those requirements about 2 years ago.
Great, thank you. In respect to differences in programs and just kind of details around all the different programs we have, we are going to put all of that information in this PDF that we will send out. So anyone that asks a question on more just details around the program itself, all of those answers will be dealt with in the PDF. So look for an email from us and we will do that. Okay.
Real
and
quick.
Also, yes, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Andres, I did see your question. $50 US for 3 attempts. Yes, you did hear that right. I just wanted to reiterate that.
Excellent, thank you. All right, let's see here, just kind of filtering through here because we're going to answer some of these offline. There was a question here, I'm not exactly sure of the answer here, but they want to know, is there any offline exams being taken? I believe they're talking about maybe classroom style exams. Do we have any classroom style, or are we doing everything now online?
So for right now, we are doing everything online. I know that training is slowly starting to get back into the classroom setting, but for right now, the CFSE program is going to remain online. Now, that does not mean that does not mean you can't take an in-person training course and then come to us and take the exam online. If anything, we've seen a lot more people doing that now. But as for right now, we're looking to keep it online until we can move back into classroom setting. We found much success with this online platform.
Excellent. And currently, let's see here. Do you require a CFSP certification before you can take the CFSE?
You do not have to have a CFSP in order to take a CFSE. That is not a requirement. If you have all the 10 years experience, you can take the CFSE without having to take the CFSP first.
And if you're asking yourself, I'm not sure which one I would qualify for, just shoot us an email and we'll walk you through that. We have no problem taking the time to break down the chart that we have. We base it on years of experience and your education. So if you've been in the industry for over 10 years, you automatically would be qualified to take a CFSE. Let's say you're fresh out of college with a bachelor's, you've been in the industry for a few years, it might make more sense for you to go for your CFSP. Naturally, the flow would be take your CFSP first and then go for your CFSE, but in no way do we require that, no.
Next question would be, are there any test exams or practice exams for the CFSP?
As of right now, we do not have a practice exam for the CFSP. That is our next practice exam we are going to be working on and hopefully launching within the coming months. But for right now, our greater demand was for the CFSE process, but we're looking to expand and hopefully get some more specialties within there, maybe hardware or automotive. But as for right now, it is just the CFSE process. But stay in touch and we'll reach out when we have more coming out.
Thank you. Another question here is, can we use pre-approved PDF copies of an exam preparing on another PC? I would just say you're allowed your pre-approved copies on your exam, on the same computer that you're using for the exam. You will not be allowed any other electronic device in that room with you. So everything has to be on one PC. Yes, you can have hard copies, but once again, that proctor will be asking to look at all of your hard copies by you basically picking up that book, picking up that document and showing it to the camera so they can see what document you are using.
Yes, got it.
Okay. Do the questions change on each attempt? I think what that means is, do you only get to see one question at a time in order for it to go to the next question? Ladies?
Yes, there's one question at a time. I think also they're wondering if there is variation within the questions, which there is. Within our CFSE exams, we do have an array of questions, so there's always different questions coming through. And we've also tried to keep that consistent with our practice exam so that if you take it a few times, there are different questions being presented. But to continue with Ted's question, yes, when you're taking your exam, in order to, in our hopes to not overwhelm as much, we do one question at a time. You can always go back and change your answers. You can bookmark a question if you're not sure the answer, but it is one at a time and you have the freedom to move back and forth.
And another interesting thing also could be for the practice exams, all three practice exams will be the same. That way you can kind of try and take it again and see if you remember what that answer was. But right at this current moment, they are not randomized practice exams. But the questions might be randomized, but you will not have new questions each time because we want you to learn the concepts of the ones that you were given.
Exactly. Unlike the CFS exam, which will move questions around and bring in new questions. Thank you, Ted.
Mm-hmm. Do we have to type the answers for short answer questions, or can we write separately on a piece of paper and attach a scanned PDF copy as the answer?
That one would definitely need to be typed. I personally have not, Missy, you can add on to this, but I have not had anyone try to do scanned copies. It is a little much for the online exam. It's probably easier just to type it in.
You're not permitted to scan anything in for your questions. Everything must be typed into for your answers.
There you go.
In fact, at the end, if you have any notes, you will be asked to rip those up and destroy those, or if you have a whiteboard, you'll have to erase it.
Yes.
Excellent. Do you receive a copy of the study guide when you purchase the CFSE certification exam? I would easily just say, no, that's a separate resource because it's not required to have a study guide to take the exam, but you can always purchase the study guide if that is of interest to you. There are a lot of questions on here with different fees, and different things like that. So like I said, all of the costs we can put in a PDF so everyone has access to that. A quick answer on one of these is it's every 3 years. So once you do pass, every 3 years you will need to renew and make sure that you are still current and still in the field, because we do not want people to have such a title if they don't even work in the industry. So so if you're going to be considered a professional or an expert within your realm, we want to make sure that you truly are and you're still in that realm and you're still working within the industry. And that's why we do make sure that people are renewing.
And I did want to add,
yeah.
Sorry,
No,
I just wanted to add that with that renewal form, we will ask you to update us on your current occupation, if you've received any new licenses or certifications. But part of that renewal process is submitting submitting the renewal form with all the necessary information and then submitting that renewal fee. But yes, it is every 3 years.
All right, thank you. And the last question here that we'll take, because we are 15 minutes over from our, we were trying to keep it to just 30 minutes, but the last question I have here, just real simply, is that if you do fail the exam by any means, or because it's a very hard exam, regardless of what type of exam it is, there is no opportunity to take it for free, but there is a retake fee, which is a lesser amount than the initial application. So that is helpful.
And
okay,
you would not need to reapply.
Yeah.
You would not need to reapply or resend in any new information. You would just need to pay that renewal fee, and then we would get you set up within the system for another attempt. I just wanted to add that because I know we've had some people confused in the past. Well, do I need to resubmit everything? No, there's no reason for that. We already have all your qualifications. We'll just get you set up for another attempt.
Very good point, Sarah. Thank you so much. And everybody, thank you, and good luck if you're looking to take these types of exams. We hope you found this information useful. We hope we answered all your questions. Be on the lookout for the slides to today's presentations. This is being recorded, so this will be, once again, on our YouTube channel and all these other free resources that we spoke about previously. And yes, we will be creating a PDF and supplying all the answers to the questions that are asked today, so that you then have all your questions answered. So, hey, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Sarah and Missy, thank you both again for helping us out with today's webinar. Have a good day, everybody. Take care for now.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Feel free to send an email if you have any other questions.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.